Hello everybody, my name is Heng. Welcome to my garage, Heng Garage.
My name is Chad with the Automotive and Travel YouTube channel CB Media, and today I'm here in Bangkok, Thailand with my friend Heng. Heng has one of the most amazing automotive collections in Southeast Asia. Heng, you have pretty much every Skyline GTR in existence, right?
Yes.
Which ones do you have?
I have the following is C10, R30, R31, R32, 33, 34, and 35.
Wow.
And one more coming is Ken and Mary.
So when that comes, you will literally have collected every Skyline.
Of course.
That's amazing. Okay, we're going to start with the Skyline collection, and we're starting with the C10, the oldest and most collectible one. So the Petersen Museum actually wanted this video to do this garage tour because Heng originally won this award. This was in May, correct?
Yes, Car and Coffee online.
Okay, so it was an online car show because at that point, because of obvious reasons, we couldn't have real life car shows.
Yes.
And your C10 Skyline won that car show, right?
Best award.
Best award. Out of how many entrants?
120 something.
So out of 120, this was the winner.
Entry 99.
The first area of the garage we're going to tour is the section that houses the R30, R31, and R32 GTR. The R30 Skyline GTR retains the FJ20 factory engine, but has a Greddy single turbo conversion, wide knobby wheels, a roll cage, and Greddy seats. But besides that, the car is fully restored. To be fair, every car in this garage is fully restored. Like, they are perfect. Not a single rock chip, not a single imperfection. They are restored to better than new condition, and then most of them fully built. It's really, really impressive. The R31 Skyline GTR was in horrible condition when Heng first bought it. It has gone through a full restoration process, including importing a full half cut from Japan, so Heng could pull the worn out RB25 that was swapped into the car out and replace that with the factory RB20, which should be in there. The car also has Watanabe wheels. You can see that's a reoccurring theme for Heng's cars. It has Blitz coilovers and an R32 GTR brake conversion. The R32 is kind of the oddball out of the bunch, and I say that because every car in this garage is modified in some way except for this R32. It's fully restored, like to better than showroom condition, but it's 100% factory, including the wheels. This is one of my favorite rooms in this garage because it houses my two favorite cars in the garage, the R33 and the R34 Skyline GTR. Both of these are fitted with some of the best most expensive, rarest JDM parts available, and both make well over 500 horsepower. The R33 GTR has a full, legit Nismo 400R conversion built motor, and it makes 630 wheel horsepower, and it has some of the rarest Nismo parts you will find on a Skyline, including the ultra rare Nismo electronic dash. The Nismo dash. This part is extremely, extremely rare and very, very valuable. The R34 GTR is a V-Spec version 2, and it has a full auto select body conversion, and it makes 574 wheel horsepower through a built 2.6 and a single turbo conversion. It's pretty sweet. Heng's R35 GTR has an ETS 4.1 liter stroker, AMS Alpha 16 turbo kit, makes 1600 wheel horsepower, and this is one of the highest horsepower and fastest R35 GTRs in all of Asia. A few of the things that makes this car so special is the full top secret version 3 aero kit, the top secret OZ wheels, and endless carbon brakes. Another component of this car that's very special is the Aeromotion's active wing. The way this wing works is with the ECU that's mounted in the trunk. And when it senses the driver doing things like pressing the brake pedals or turning the steering wheel, it adjusts the aero accordingly. It's very special, very rare, and extremely expensive. So this car is on Syvex standalone engine management system, but it has the amazing Motec digital dash. Come on, check this out. Look at that, isn't that sweet? And another thing, the seats that I'm sitting in right now, these are the very rare Nismo carbon seats. They're like $20,000 for a pair of these seats, if you can find one. The final GTR in Heng's collection is this. It's not really a GTR. It's actually a Daihatsu Copen with the full Liberty Walk GTK conversion. We call it the baby GTR. It's a 3-cylinder turbocharged Japanese car, and it's just adorable. Heng's love for Japanese sports cars is not exclusive to the Skylines. He also has a Toyota Supra and an RX-7. I've been blessed enough to see a few Bielside RX-7s in my life, but Heng's is hands down the nicest one I've ever seen. It also uses work wheels and an R35 GTR brake conversion, a 13B single turbo, and makes about 500 wheel horsepower. Heng has had his Toyota Supra for 9 years. It is wide body, it has work wheels, R35 GTR brakes, and makes 600 wheel horsepower using the factory engine with a single turbo and a Syvex standalone engine management system. Here's a couple cars you wouldn't expect in this garage. Both this Mercedes and this Volvo, which by the way, the Volvo was Heng's first car, have 2 JZ swaps with single turbo conversions. This area of Heng's garage houses his 1937 Ford Custom and a really sweet Jeep we'd call the Jeep Rod. It has a Lexus V8 and seats from a US Army tank. Not even joking. This thing is hilarious. This is Daihatsu walkthrough. All my American friends would just get a giant kick out of this thing. It's hilarious. Heng just uses it because it's cute and it's fun, and he likes to take his kids to school in it. And look, it's got like R compound racing tires on it. What? The 991.2 Porsche has Strass wheels, R35 GTR brakes, which is actually pretty common in this garage, and a 5-speed exhaust. The 570-4 Superleggera has a built-engine ETS twin-turbo kit and over 1,000 wheel horsepower. This Lexus SC400 was actually purchased in America, in Boston, where Heng went to college. He bought this car in 1997 after he finished school. He imported it back here to Thailand at a cost of a 200% import duty tax. The car now has work wheels, air ride suspension, and a billet supercharger from Australia. This is a Mitsubishi GTO. If you're one of my fellow Americans, you'll probably know it as a 3000 GT or maybe even a Dodge Stealth. This one is in pretty much perfect condition, very low mileage, basic bolt-ons, work wheels, and you guessed it, R35 GTR brakes. Follow me. We're going upstairs. This is pretty sweet. There's a bunch of really awesome collectible cars and a couple real cars up here as well. This is an actual Mini Cooper. Yes, it's a legit Mini Cooper that Heng bought, restored, and then chopped it up to make it into a desk. Yeah, it's a desk. The newer Mini Cooper is just your basic bolt-ons and tune with wheels and Evo 8 brakes, but the rest of this space is amazing. You have very rare collectible Nismo wheels on the wall. You have a GTR transformer that's built out of car parts in the background. This thing is huge. It's as tall as I am. This area of Heng's garage also is home to one of the most epic model car collections I have ever seen in my life. One thing about this garage and hosting a garage tour of these spaces is it's almost overwhelming the amount of things that are in this garage. From these GTR calipers to these rare limited edition steering wheels, stuff like this is in every room, everywhere. It takes days to go through this place if you truly want to see every rare part and every car. It's really, really impressive. See, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. The GTR shift knobs, all the Skyline badges. You have GTR wallets, binoculars, a carbon fiber Nismo GTR helmet. This is what I'm talking about with this garage. I've been here multiple times over the past few years, and every time I come here, I find something new that just totally blows my mind. This is Heng's living room inside of his garage. Remember, his house is next door. This is his actual garage, but he wanted a place for his friends and family to be able to hang out when they visited the garage, and it's beautifully appointed with tons of Skyline GTR models. Check them out, they're amazing. A lot of people collect model cars, but what makes these special is they're very limited edition, highly collectible, and come with their matching engines. This is Heng's kitchen / meeting room, and in typical Heng fashion, all the seats are Sparco racing seats. This is the pool room. I mean, what would a garage be without a pool table? The pool room has a bunch of collectible model race cars as well as maps of legendary racetracks from around the world. And he even has a number 3 NASCAR, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Do it for Dale. This area of Heng's garage was originally a play space for his kids. Now as they're getting older, they've converted it into a library. I'm sure there's quite a few books in here about racing cars. So this is an additional, I guess you would call it, living space here in Heng's garage. It even has a piano and foosball. Sweet. I'm gonna be honest, at this point, I've lost track of how many rooms are in this garage. This one, according to Heng, is the study room. Look, it's Heng. Heng has his own mural. Heng's garage. This is the gaming room of Heng's Garage. It includes multiple classic arcade games, including the legendary Initial D. Heng, thank you so much for letting us tour your epic garage here in Bangkok, Thailand. I've been here multiple times, and every time I come here, this place blows my mind.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And this guy has a YouTube channel as well. What's the name of your YouTube channel?
Of course, Heng Garage.
It's Heng Garage. That makes sense. Thank you for watching, and
Thank you for Petersen Museum. Let me show casing my garage.
yes, see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.
Xing Mobility's purpose is to empower every and any vehicle maker to go electric. Our strategy is to develop high performance electric powertrains, starting with a battery system and a modular system that for the world's not just passenger vehicles, but the workhorses, the construction machines, the agricultural vehicles, the mining vehicles. The purpose is to serve the world's mobility with our very modular battery system and powertrain system.
We're standing in front of our Miss R prototype supercar, and this supercar serves many roles here at Xing. Besides being kind of the obvious supercar project, this is actually where we do a lot of our R&D testing and development. Doing R&D testing in the lab is very good, and we have a full laboratory where we do traditional R&D testing in the laboratory, but this is really our secret test bed. Here we're able to use all of our standard products, but use them in a very extreme environment. We drive this car off-road in sand, salt water, mud, rocks, dirt on the racetrack at very high G-forces. And that's really been the real-world test for the durability, strength, and reliability for our products that trades back to our traditional kind of construction, agriculture vehicles, customers that are using these battery packs to power their vehicles. What's unique about the Immersio concept is that we're circulating a coolant through the battery, and that coolant ensures that all of the modules and all of the cells inside the module are maintained at an equal temperature. So we don't have any hot spots in our battery. It allows us to do fast charge, faster than our competitors. It allows us to have a longer cycle life in real world conditions. And of course, it can support very high peak power outputs when needed. This is a unique technology that's only available at Xing Mobility, particularly in this modular format where the batteries are assembled in a Lego-like architecture where they can be mixed and matched to build any kind of size and shape that's necessary for our customers. So not only are we able to offer unique sizes and shapes with our modular architecture, we can also offer fast swap. So there's a variety of different ways to do battery charging. Our solution supports very high C rates or charge cycles, or charge times, so we can get charge times down as low as 30 minutes or maybe even less. In addition, we have this architecture which allows us to do battery swap. This complete battery box can be swapped out from the car in about 5 minutes, and the car can actually lift itself up with its inbuilt jacking system. The battery can be lowered from the car. A new battery can be installed into the vehicle. We utilize these blind mate connectors that allow the battery to just click right into place. There's no cabling or wiring that needs to be done by the user, and battery swap is about a 5-minute process with this architecture. So for the Immersio battery, as installed in our Miss R supercar, generates 1 megawatt of output power. That's 1,300 horsepower. That horsepower is delivered to a 4-wheel drive system that utilizes 4 individual motors and allows us to do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in less than 2 seconds. That acceleration is with our on-road wheel and tire package, and then the vehicle can be switched to the wheels and tires that you see in the background for off-road performance that's unequaled. So still offering over 1,000 horsepower in an off-road environment with full torque vectoring, gives the driver maximum performance, but while still being able to maintain and deploy all 1,000 horsepower. But now let's look in detail at our supercar. This is a unique application of the Emerzio system in which we are we're getting maximum power, but we're also getting maximum performance. We'll start here. This is a very unusual wheel and tire package for a supercar. This is the only off-road supercar in the world. These tires and wheels and brake package come from the Dakar Rally. Suspension is also from Dakar Rally winner. And so this vehicle is designed for not just off-road performance, but high-speed extended off-road performance. As we look at the vehicle, one of the first things you'll notice is a carbon fiber monocoque. Again, a very unusual choice for an off-road supercar. But in our chase to give a stiff vehicle structure and also lightweight, this was the ideal way to solve that problem. As we come back a little further in the vehicle, you'll notice the side-mounted radiators, which allow us to bring cool air into the vehicle, cool air into the radiator package to maintain temperature when we're running those very high discharge powers. And again, if you look closely, you'll notice CNC machined front and rear subframes, one of the only vehicles in the world to utilize the CNC subframe. That allows us to have a very lightweight but stiff and rigid chassis. It also allows us to have very good dimensional accuracy, so the vehicle is very precise front to rear. From the very front of our vehicle to the very rear of our vehicle is only 3 pieces, and that ensures very good accuracy and means the handling is very crisp for the driver. All right, so we utilize a unique cooling system made up with a micro tube radiator. This radiator is made out of 20,000 very small stainless steel tubes. This allows us to have a very small lightweight radiator that gives us the best heat exchange or cooling properties in a small lightweight package. From there, you can see our CNC machined front subframe. Subframe is made of just 3 pieces that are all bolted together, and we even have tanks built directly into the subframe. From there, you'll see our push rod suspension, which has a rocker arm built in, and dampers are supplied by Regère. Push rod suspension is rarely seen on off-road cars, but because this is an off-road supercar, we needed to develop an on-road suspension and an off-road suspension in one. We're able to utilize our adjustable rocker arm to change the ride height, shock travel, and damping while the driver is still in the driver's seat. So here we are under the Miss R supercar. This is a view that very few people get the chance to see, but there's some very cool stuff down here, so I'm happy to show you around. One of the first things I want to point out are the electrical connections and fluid connections that are used for our battery swap. These are the fluid connections here and electrical connections. The fluid connections are self-sealing. We call them a dry brake fitting. Once you remove the battery, you just drop it down and there's no fluid loss. And when you put the battery back up, the electrical connections are made automatically and the fluid opens automatically to allow the coolant to flow. From there, one of the next things that we have are our motors. And in this case, in Miss R, we have 1 motor for each wheel. So this is our left rear motor, right rear motor. The motors are completely independent. There's no mechanical differential. And between the motors, there's only an electronic differential. That allows us to simulate a limited slip differential, a fully locked differential, or an open differential. And even we can do things like speed control on individual wheels. That allows us to do torque vectoring. So as you see, when I spin this wheel, the right wheel does not turn at all. And we can turn this wheel forward, this wheel backwards. There's no connection between the 2 wheels. We can do whatever we want from a wheel speed or wheel torque standpoint. So then as we come around towards the rear of the vehicle, the first thing we'll look at is the brake package. Very unusual brake package. We utilize AP Racing 6-piston calipers all the way around, but they're liquid-cooled calipers. Because we have an off-road vehicle, we have these 16-inch wheels, which means the rotors are a little bit small, and to maintain even brake temperature, we go to the liquid-cooled caliper. These are Dakar Rally winners and very proven technology, but also gives the driver a very consistent brake pedal. As we come towards the rear of the car, you can see the gearboxes. It's very unusual for a company our size to design and develop our own gearbox. In this case, we designed and developed 4 individual gearboxes, 1 for each wheel. So this gearbox is linked to this motor and goes directly to that wheel. This gearbox goes to this motor. Again, no mechanical connection between them. If we go up a bit higher, you can see again our radiators with the micro tubes. And again, this one is around 20,000 small tubes, and it gives us very, very high performance on heat exchange while giving really lightweight. And from here, you can see some of our coolant tanks and pumps that are utilized to keep the temperatures under control when we're deploying all 1 megawatt of power at 1,300 horsepower.
Xing's ambitions are to produce beautiful things, execute them beautifully, and to bring joy to folks.
Rob's quite particular, and we all love him for it, but at the same time, he's given me gray hair. So the story goes, he was walking around a car, and he started putting Post-it notes on the car. And he said, this needs improvement, this could be better, this could be better. And at the end of it all, he got a bit frustrated and said, everything's important. Got a spray can and wrote on the wall, everything is important.
What really makes these guys different are the smallest things that you don't see. And every little thing, panel, fitment is perfect. And if it's not, they won't let it go.